You need to tell this story. And you need to look for angles that your boss may not approve of.
On the hot seat, New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin is forced to answer some tough questions about the NABJ convention.
A dangerous ride. The steps being taken to protect taxicab drivers from crime.
And your inside look into the Indianapolis Recorder, the history of one of the oldest African-American newspapers in town.
This is NABJ Television.
Hello, and welcome to NABJ TV. I'm Sheena Bodie.
And I'm Stephanie Chandler. Almost 1 year after Hurricane Katrina damaged his city, New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin took time out to be speaker at this year's NABJ. NABJ was not afraid to ask him what went wrong during Hurricane Katrina, but Nagin had a word or two for all the African-American journalists as well.
But I come here with a message for you as black journalists, as people of color. You need to tell this story. And you need to look for angles that your boss may not approve of. Because people are suffering to this day.
But NABJ TV didn't stop there. Our Rob Thomas tells us some people are wondering if the mayor can actually make it easier for them to return home.
It's been nearly a year since Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, and Donnell Jackson still wants some answers.
In terms of government, I don't feel like, everything that could have been done was done.
Donnell is a recent journalism graduate of Temple University in Philadelphia and a native of New Orleans. He was on his way back to school when the hurricane demolished his home near the lower 9th Ward. He criticizes Mayor Ray Nagin for his decisions during the crisis.
So I think his biggest mistake was asking for help from the government on a national level, but he asked too late.
Donnell is not the only one who feels that way. Nagin contends that he's misunderstood by the media and criticizes black journalists for their coverage of Katrina. For example, he was criticized about the way people were forced to live in the Superdome and Convention Center. That has been changed.
We made a fundamental change in that we decided there would be no more shelters of last resort. We would get everyone out of the city in the event there was a Category 2 or 3 storm or higher.
Yet Nagin says he's not going to focus on the past, but what he can do for the citizens of New Orleans in the future.
So we're trying to make sure that money gets to the citizens as quickly as possible.
But Donnell says he wants to see progress a lot faster.
The next time I go back to New Orleans, I shouldn't see. I don't want to see my neighborhood still in the same condition that it was, 6 months ago.
In the Convention Center, Rob Thompson, NABJ TV News.
Nearly 100,000 New Orleans families are still waiting for their promised federal aid to rebuild their homes. Until that happens, many people are still waiting to return to a place they once knew as home.
Those 18 and younger who plan on hanging out this weekend need to bring along a watch when they go out. There's changes to the Indiana state curfew law. Now police can detain teens who violate 1 a.m. curfew until their parents pick them up. That's Friday through Saturday. And Sunday through Thursday, the curfew is 11 p.m.
Nothing good can happen to you on the streets of Indianapolis or of any other city if you're out in the middle of the night. You're asking for trouble, and too often in our community, our young people have gotten into trouble.
The only exception to the rule is if students are out for work-related or religious activities.
It's a dangerous job, often overlooked, taxi cab driving. Drivers normally carry cash in their pockets, but as Adrian Brodish reports, cab drivers in Indianapolis might be packing something else.
Frank Warnick spends his days like this.
And so you get to meet all kinds, the good and the bad.
25 years and counting.
You're paying the cost to be the boss. I'm just the horse. You point and I drive. There'll be no jive.
Behind the wheel.
Always like meeting people, and this is a good way to do both.
Perhaps a good way to meet people, but that's exactly how one local cab driver here in Indianapolis was killed. Now, Marion County Sheriff Frank Anderson is putting cops in cabs.
When you open that cab door, you may get a ride to jail. I refuse to have these good citizens to be picked up on and preyed upon.
As for Frank, he says police protection is comforting, but he relies on his spiritual beliefs for something extra.
So he can open doors nobody can close, and close doors nobody can open.
In Indianapolis, Adrian Broadus, NABJ TV.
Marion County Sheriff Frank Anderson tells NABJ several arrests were made since the Cop in a Cab program started last week.
As officers try to curb crime, there are startling statistics about area prisons. Blacks take up 8% of the population in Indiana, but when it comes to the prison population, the number rises more than 37%. For some people, the outrage does not revolve around the number of people in prison, but the number of people who get out early. I found out the biggest concern is over repeat offenders.
I can't believe it happened in our neighborhood, but it did.
This is reality for residents of Hamilton Avenue. A rash of violent crimes finally hit close to home.
7 people. I can't stand it. My kids don't want me to live here, but this is my home. This is where me and my husband live for over 40 years.
In June of this year, 4 adults and 3 children were killed at 560 North Hamilton Avenue. Authorities believe one of the assailants is James Stewart, a repeat drug offender who was in jail, who was set free because there weren't enough beds.
The only exact thing that we have, and the only thing that I know for a fact, is that every day I have to be under 1,135 in the jail. And whatever I have to do that, I will do.
Indianapolis, like many American cities, has a grossly overpopulated jail system. The situation has officials facing a very difficult decision. Which criminals can they set free, and which ones are too dangerous to be released? Even with the city council promising $1.5 million to add 200 beds for prisoners, they can't keep up with the growing demand for jail space.
The 200 beds you were talking about that we're going to get,
yes,
I could have consumed them in an hour. They would have been gone before I even knew they were there.
Even that may not be soon enough.
People don't want to live in here no more, honey. They don't know what's going to come up next.
Stephanie Chandler, NABJ TV News. Deputy Mayor Steve Campbell says that $1 million will be borrowed from the city's sewer department to pay for the additional 200 beds, and $500,000 will come from the corrections department.
Indianapolis and the economy. Are things getting better or worse?
After the break, the answers are not always the same across color lines.
And rain is on the way. After the break, find out when it's coming and how long it's staying.
And next, a look at Indianapolis Recorder.
Storm Team 6 TrueView is on your side for the most accurate forecast. Kevin Gregory and Storm Team 6, named #1 by an independent research firm. Only 6 News can claim it. Only Storm Team 6 delivers it. Trust the scientifically proven, most accurate forecast. Storm Team 6 is on your side. The clicks are in. TheIndyChannel.com is Indiana's #1 broadcast news site.
NBC News, the heart of America.
The heart of America, it's the soul of you and me. No matter what we've been through, what we hold to be true, this promise of liberty. It's the heart of America. It's America, so you and me. No matter what we've been through, what we hold to be true, is this promise of liberty.
NBC News, America's news leader.
We're the heart of America.